What is good, Counter-Strike fans? Welcome to my 7th episode of my HLTV Fantasy. Today, we're going to talk about ESL Pro League Season 21, the group stage. Really quickly, really excited to be back. I believe the playing stage was a partner event, so I decided not to play it, decided not to make a video about it, but I guess it was a fun event because a lot of teams were like Saw and ZyWOo impressed us, and a lot of teams, like Heroic, kind of disappointed us in the previous event. But yeah, just want to make this quick video. It's probably gonna be one of my quickest videos ever. I'm just gonna not let you hear me yap the whole time, but yeah. Let's take a look at how I did in my previous event, which was PGL, Clutch, and Poka, and I decided to go with the three teams that did the worst, basically, other than Saw. I mean, this was insane. Like Mongols losing against Astralis in the first round, Eternal Fire losing against Falcons. That was I did say it was like a 50-50 matchup, but FaZe, hoping that they could, give me at least some points. Um, beat Saw easily. Then they lost against Falcons in the semifinals and lost against Astralis in the third place event. So yeah, when you have Mouz, Falcons, Mouz winning the whole thing, Falcons coming in second, and then Astralis winning that third place decider, it's not gonna look too good for me. 0 points. We can see the overview. It's gonna tell you the whole story basically of Mouse players dominated. Nico was just being Nico and carried Falcons to the finals, and a couple of Astralis players. But yeah, just really quickly, the matchups are, I would say, pretty straightforward. I would say Spirit should win, Vitality should win, Navi should win, Mouse should win, but maybe Fury could take one map, but say Mouse pretty easily. G2 should win as well. Pen can again take one map. Mongols vs Gamer Legion could be the upset, but I would still lean Mongols 2-1. Eternal Fire 3D Max could be the upset as well. I think this is my favorite upset of the whole tournament. But I'm still going to go with Eternal Fire winning 2-1. And then Falcons Liquid 50-50. Giving it to Falcons because they have Nico and an actual IGL. So yeah, Falcons probably 2-1. So big surprise, I went with all the top seeds to win. Just really quickly, they do have these live ratings, which you can find on ESL's website, and they try to explain it as, we know the standard Swiss bracket format, and we understand that sometimes when the top seeds win, it'll be 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 5, and so on. But if all the favorites were to win, and we use the live ratings that ESL provided, it would mean that Spirit would face Mongols. I believe this was Vitality would face Falcons. Navi would face Eternal Fire, and then Mouse versus G2. In summary, who knows what's gonna happen, honestly. And you shouldn't worry too much. Just pick the teams that you know for sure are gonna go through, and pick the best players that you can from those teams. But yeah, now we can go with and talk about the most picked players. And you can see JK as the most picked player, almost 40% owned. Great price. I mean, you'll see why. But a lot of IGLs, 4 IGLs in the top 8. No one really owned that much. Only Apex and JL have a 20%, and everyone else below 20. So it's a tournament with a lot of big decisions, a lot of variety, and honestly, anything could happen. So yeah, let's take a look at the players just really quickly. Spirit, Magic and Sontex, no, unless Donk carries them, but no. Chopper is a maybe if, again, Donk carries, but it's borderline. Sh1ro, solid pricing, 220, probably my favorite one here. Donk, 240 is always going to be worth it, but can you build the best lineup around him at your price? I don't know. So yeah, Sh1ro would be my favorite at Spirit. Vitality, Apex, 195. He had a great Katowice finals, but I don't know if he'd be able to do it in 3, 4, 5 matches to have that consistency. So probably skip on him. You could go with these other 4 players. Messi, I would skip on as well. He hasn't been looking as solid alongside Robs as he was with Spinks. Is it because Robs is a better player than Spinks? Maybe. I would say Sai was my favorite at 235. He has the most consistent floor of any player in this event, even better than Donks. And he could have the upside that Donk has. So, ZyWOo again could be an interesting option. After that, if you want to go cheaper, we'll go more towards Robs than Flamesy, just because Robs has shown a little bit more. Navi, Alexa, yes, you know, I don't like. And here, it has to be jail or nothing. 207 is a great price for him. He was a top 5 player last year. That's not going to change all of a sudden. I know he has had a couple of bad events to start the year, but he should find his form again. After that, if you wanted to double up, I wouldn't do it with Bit. He's too expensive at 221. Again, he's been the most consistent player for Navi, but at 221, you can spend the money a little bit better. And so it's a decision between Ime and Wonderful. I would go with Ime. Wonderful looks like really poor recently, and honestly, if Navi were to make any changes, it'd probably be Wonderful being kicked out first. Eternal Fire, they look inconsistent for a little bit now. I mean, Major 181 is not the worst, but if you want to, get a Donk Lineup, then you'll have to get something like Major in there. Santaris, if you believe in Eternal Fire supremacy. But at 220, I don't want to spend that much on a team that I'm not even sure if they're going to make it to the next stage. Woxic, no, not right now. Wicadia as well. It's not as bad as Woxic, but again, a little bit too much for my liking. And Jota, it's actually interesting 198. He could actually be an interesting option. But yeah, if you want to go Terrifier, probably Jota, maybe Major, maybe Centaurus. G2, Snacks. If you pick Snacks, then you're basically throwing your lineup away, I would say. These 4 are all interesting. Honestly, I would skip on again. He just hasn't looked the same without Nico. So I think he still needs to find his footing. But he has that upside that he always has. So it could happen this tournament, but I'm going to skip on him for now. And if I had to go with one player from G2, it has to be Mouz. 209. Got all of Nico's roles, basically. He hasn't shown it yet this year, but his rating could basically boom. But yeah, if I wanted to go G2, go with Mouz. And maybe pair him up with Hunter because it's a little bit cheaper. Or Heavy God for that little bit more consistency that he's shown. Mongols. They did me dirty last tournament, but I'm still interested in a couple of these players. Techno 189, super interesting. Allows you to again get those big marquee players. Misinho 910, I would skip on Misinho because he's been poor to start the year. 910 because the most expensive, and 211 for 910 is too much. If I were to double up, it has to be Techno Sensu. Maybe Blitz if you want to spend up a little bit more for that consistency, but Techno and Sensu are the must, I think, if you want to go double Mongols. Mouz, Brolin at 189 is super interesting. He started off kind of poor fragging wise as an IGL, but as the tournament went on, he got better. So is there potential for him to at least do a 1 rating? Possibly. Spinks I will skip on because he's too expensive. And it ends up being Torchy, Jim Howard, Surgeon. Pick your poison. Surgeon was the most consistent last tournament. He's entry fragger as well. So he has high highs and low lows. So Jim Hat probably has the most consistent floor, but also he doesn't really have as highs as someone like Search or Torchy. And then Torchy is the upper. So pick your poison between these three. Falcons. Nico 222 is very interesting price. Are you gonna spend 222 for a Falcons player? Nope, especially because you don't even know if they're gonna make it to the next stage. So Nico, while interesting, I would not go there. Texas, I'm interested in at 203. Again, playing second fiddle, second in ratings to Nico. Dexter had a better tournament, so it's not bad either. Magic's looked better, but I don't believe in Magic's. Kicks in at 181. It's fine if he puts up 0.9, but if he doesn't, then you're out of luck. Liquid, JKS is a must-have in this event. The cheap price allows you to get better players around him. So JK is the must-have, I think. Nerds, I wouldn't go here. I know he's had some amazing performances with Liquid so far, but 215, again, Liquid could make it, but they're not a for sure thing like a Vitality and a Spirit are. So yeah, skip on Nerds. Skip on Ultimate as well. He's been found out in Tier 1. He hasn't looked the same as his debut. And I think I like Twist. If I had to between Twist and Nav, I would go with Twist if you wanted to double up alongside JKS. Pain, probably not with Pain, but if you want to go here, maybe you could Sarah Davideos. Cows has been really bad. 0.8. He's not even gonna be worth this price, honestly. I don't see him being worth. Gamer Legion, again, the prices are interesting, but I don't see them making it through. They could, because their Gamer Legion have a great coach. But CTR and Dawson are interesting. Res and PR if you want to go with one of the carries, but yeah, Gamer Legion, maybe just skip on for this tournament. Furia, another skip. Maybe Sh1ro, but yeah, skip on them. 3D Max actually I'm interested in. Maka, but has been the most consistent player for them. Opper, IGL, what can he do? Body looks really good as well. Ever since he's coming for Jocko, has given him more firepower. And then Gravity 179 is not bad for his price, honestly. And they could be the upset team. Honestly, they could be the team that when you see the top 8 who moves on to the next stage, it could be 3D Max. MIBR, Saw, and Tyloo, just skip on them. So yeah, when building a team, I think I'm gonna have for every team I'm gonna have JKS and Brolin. JKS is a must-have. Brolin's a solid core piece. And if I want to build a Donk lineup, this I think what I would do. I think this will be my Donk line. No, actually no. This will be my Donk lineup. Double stacking Liquid. Double stacking on Spirit. Donk carries Chopper. Easy, and then Mouz with Brolin. But I think for this tournament, I think the lineup that will probably win will probably be at 2-1-1-1. So having 5 players from 4 different teams, and even 5 players from 5 different teams could actually win the whole tournament. I don't see a 2-1-2 winning the whole tournament, especially when you have prices like Spirits and Vitalities being a little bit high on the higher end. So yeah, I'm gonna show you my top 3 teams so far, but JKS and Brolin will be in each of these 3 teams. This is my 3rd favorite lineup right now. It has JKS, Brolin, Sh1ro, Jimhan, and JL. Sh1ro's there because they have the easiest matchup against Tyloo. I am a little bit wary that maybe Sh1ro doesn't really farm against worse teams, and instead, players like Donk, Chopper, and Sontix, and Magix who get more opportunities against those easier matchups. But Sh1ro's still a great player when he gets to face, the the actual tier 1 opposition, he'll put up solid ratings. Jim had as well. He's not really a player that farms lower opposition, but he's super consistent against the tier 1 opposition. And then JL, a top 5 player that I think is severely underpriced. My second favorite team, again, has JK's Brolin. And then we have ZyWOo, Surgeon, and Techno. ZyWOo is going to have to be the big carry for this team alongside Surgeon. Instead of, having 3 players that can frag out, I'm going with 2. And just hope that ZyWOo can be that mega carry. And I think he can. I think that's why this lineup is my second favorite. Because I know that he's not going to go below 1.35 rating. And that is his floor, basically. A 1.3 is actually his floor. So ZyWOo is interesting. And then Surgeon was their Mouse's best player. He likes to be farming. He can farm against Furia, entry fragging. He can get 1 or 2 kills. He's like a little Donk Light, I would call him. And then Techno, just hope that he plays Ancient and, it's his favorite map, I would say. I'm not sure if it is, but, Techno, just hope that he does enough and Mongols get through. But my favorite team is Robs instead of Sh1ro, and Torchy instead of Jim Hat. And we bring back JL alongside Brolin and JKS. I think this is the best lineup where I could see like Robs and Torchy being able to farm a little bit more, especially Robs having to be a little bit more active rather than someone like Sh1ro who's a little bit more passive. Robs can also be a little too passive as well, but I think Apex has been making Robs be a little bit more aggressive, and he has more of a chance to farm that initial game other than more than Sh1ro, I would say. And then Torchy as well. Whenever he opts, he opts a lot better when he knows that the opposing opper is not as good as him. So for that Furia game, even though Fallen is a legend, Torchy is gonna be a little bit more aggressive, more than Jim had, I would say, and he's gonna try and find more opening picks. So I'd say this is my favorite lineup. Let me know what you think. I will leave a comment, if I can, before the event starts, in order to update you on whether I decide to go with this lineup. I'm about 80% likely to go with this lineup, and maybe 15% on the ZyWOo, and then 5 on the Sh1ro one. But honestly, I think this event is gonna be very interesting. Yeah, so leave a comment what you think of my lineup. Leave a comment with your lineup, and yeah, good luck, and see you next time.